Can someone please let me know if my screen is visible so that we can proceed? Just type S in the chat box. Okay, okay, Darshana, let's continue. So yesterday we have completed discussing about the byte data type. Right? So we know, we have discussed four things on top of byte data type. Whatever the data type that we are going to discuss, we need to understand or we need to make 4 points. The four usual points, right? First thing is the size. We need to understand its size, right? Size. After that, we need to understand its range. And the third thing is we need to understand its default value, right? And the fourth thing is we need to mention its signature. If it is a signed data type, it means the particular data type is going to represent both negative numbers as well as positive numbers. Right? For any primitive data types, these things are mandatory to be recognized. As simple as that. The first point for this short data type is very simple. The size of the short data type is the size of the short data type is fixed to be 2 bytes. Right? When I say 2 bytes, you can also say that 2 bytes is equal to 16 bits. Right? 16 bits. First point. Second point is again the default value. The default value for the short data type is 0. This point is very important. Default value. We will be understanding more about the default value when we start learning object-oriented programming. Until that, it is a declaration that the default value of the short type is 0. The third point is, right, it is a signed data type. Signed means it represents both positive as well as the negative number. Right? The fourth one is we need to talk about this range. Right? When I say range, ranges are always inclusive, but you do not have to memorize these ranges. Instead of memorizing these ranges, we will come to a conclusion with the help of the conversion, with the help of the actual conversion. Right? So specifically, the range is said to be value. The negative value is starting from minus 32,768 to 32,767. Right? So this is the range. These are the ranges. When you want to save any data, the data should be when you want to save any data by using short data type, you should ensure that the range it is falling within this range, as simple as that. Right? So let us debug this each and every point. Likewise, we have already done some debugging with the byte data type. We are going to use the same concept to debug the short data type. Simple as that. First, let us debug the first point, first line. The size of the short data type is fixed to be 2 bytes, right? So how I can represent this 2 bytes? Very simple. 1 byte is a combination of 8 bits. Isn't it? 1 byte is a combination of what? How many bits? 8 bits. We draw it really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? The short is representing 2 bytes. The memory capacity of short is 2 bytes. 2 bytes is the collection of 16 bits, right? Let me separate this so that we will understand it is 2 bytes. Right? And let me create a let me do a line here. Okay. So I have just partitioned to ensure that negative value is placed here, the positive value is placed here. When I say for any data type, if you want to find the negative value by using the binary numbers, the calculation or the way of finding the negative value is going to be very easy, because I have been telling that the leftmost bit is reserved for the signature, isn't it? The leftmost bit reserved for the signature. Just put it as 1. 1 is representing what? The negative signature, right? And over here, let me put 0. 0 is representing what? The positive sign, which is also known as the positive number, I can say. Right? If you want to find the minimum value, right? If you want to find the minimum value for the short data type, right? What I will do, very simple. So this first, the leftmost bit is for signature, and the remaining bits I need to fill it with the respective bits. In this case, the respective bits are going to be what? 0. Everything should be 0. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. This is how we find the minimum value for any data type. So in this case, we are using short data type, right? So short data type is nothing but it is the product of or it is the, like, if its size is 2 bytes, right? So 2 bytes can be rewritten as, it is also called as the collection of 16 bits, right? So this is how it can be represented diagrammatically. If you count each and every bit, you are going to get 16. Right? On top of the 16 bits, if you want to find a minimum number, this is the procedure. First number, reserve it for the symbol, signature, right? And fill the remaining bits with the zeros. Likewise, this side, to find the maximum positive number, fill the first bit, fill the leftmost bit with 0, and fill the remaining bits with 1. If you do this, right, if you convert this to the decimal number, you will be getting what? Minus 32,768, isn't it? 2 plus 32,767. You know already how to convert a binary number to the decimal number, right? What you will do, you will just place the, by using the placeholders, right, you will increase the significance of these powers of 2. This will be starting from 2 to the power of 0, 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 3, 2 to the power of 4, 2 to the power of 5, 2 to the power of 6, 2 to the power of 7, 2 to the power of 8, 2 to the power of 9, 2 to the power of 10, 2 to the power of 11, 2 to the power of 12, 2 to the power of 13, 2 to the power of 14, 2 to the power of 15. If you find the value for 2 to the power of 15, we will be getting this, right? That is how you find the these are the things that is getting happened internally, right? So you can directly say that the range is the capacity or the range is from minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. To do the same conversion here with this particular set of bits, right, you will be getting the what? You will be getting the positive value. You will be getting this value. This is one way of calculating the minimum number and the maximum number. The second, there is another way. We have a direct mathematical formula to perform the same calculation. The mathematical formula is minus 2 to the power of n minus 1. Here n is representing the number of bits, to 2 to the power of n minus 1 minus 1, right? If you substitute the value of n here, you will be getting the same number. Very simple. See, if anyone is asking you like what is the minimum range of short data type, you should be getting two things in your mind. One is you need to know how much this short data type, how much of memory this short data type is going to occupy. First thing, like we know that already it is going to occupy 2 bytes of memory, right? Convert this 2 bytes into bits, right? So it is going to be what? 2 into 8 equal to 16 bits, right? This 16 bits is nothing but the we substitute the 16 bit in place of n, right? So it is like 2 to the power of 16 minus 1 to 2 to the power of 16 minus 1 minus 1, right? If you substitute this, if you calculate this, the answer is going to be what? Minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. This is the other way of calculating the range. This is the first way, this is the second way. right? So the reason why I'm explaining you all this is, you as a developer, you as a Java developer, you should not memorize these things, right? Without having memorizing these things, we should be in a position to bring these answers. How do you bring these answers? This is the first way, and this is the second, by using the formula or by using the concept of bit manipulation. Making sense? Just type S in the chat box if this is clear till now, so that we can proceed further. Yes, yes. Good. So the second thing, what it says, right? Why it is called a signed data type? When it is saying that it is signed data type, it means it is representing both the negative number as well as the positive number. That's why it is called as signed data types. In future, there are some data types where we will be encountering a situation, right? It is going to be what? Unsigned data types. In those cases, negative numbers are not considered. Right? When it is signed, you should be thinking. You should be thinking like, okay, the data type is a signed data type. It means it is going to accommodate negative values as well as the positive values. As simple as that. Right? So let us do some problems on the short data type. Right? I am also going to bring in the byte data types to perform some to understand some things internally. Okay. So let me open the notepad. Right? Very simple. Let us say that this time the name of the class is going to be hotel, right? And we have a main method, right? If you go to hotel, we usually order idli or dosa. Let us say dosa. The price of the dosa is 100 rupees. Again, I am taking short data type, and let us order idli. The price of the idli is 50 rupees. I'm not sure if the spelling of idli is correct. Okay, whatever it is. Dosa 100. I mean, we are trying to represent two datas. The data is in the form of integer values, right? It is obvious that we can either store this value by using short. It is accepted. But don't you think it is also accepted to represent these values in the form of byte? Right? This is possible, as well as the previous thing is also possible. But I would recommend you to choose the byte data type, because byte data type is capable enough to to accommodate the value 100 as well as value 50. Right? What is the difference between this and this? What difference this is going to make? Okay. Both are going to, both data types are capable and potential enough to store these values, because they are falling within the range of these two data types. But I am saying that we can, it is always recommended to choose byte data type, because we can save a lot of memory. Right? Let us try to convert this in the form of a binary representation, so that you will understand. Right? This is our question. This is my question. Right? If I use byte, for me it is going to be very simple, right? 1 minute. When I choose byte is the combination or collection of, 1 byte is collection of what? 8 bits. Right? 100 can be represented like what? 1. Sorry, first bit is reserved for the symbol, because 100 is a positive number. First bit is reserved for the symbol, isn't it? And I am taking 1 year. 0, 0, 1. Okay, this is the equivalent binary representation of the value 100. Right? Secondly, if you see here, what if I try to save the same data? Say if I want to save the same data by using short data type, here something is happening here. Some observation is required here. So short data type is going to consume 16 bits of memory. Right? So all the values. So this place is enough to store this particular particular data. So if you store the value 100 by using the short data type, right? So there is no problem here, but one observation that we must make is memory consumption, wastage of memory, right? So this particular part is completely getting wasted, right? If I have an option to store this particular 100, right? This 100 can be stored by using any data type, right? But I have an option to store this 100 in the byte data type. Byte is going to consume only 1 byte of memory. If that is the case, I can go with the byte itself, right? But even I can choose this short data type. But the problem is it is going to consume 2 bytes of memory. 1 byte is wasted, isn't it? Right? So the conclusion is, if we ever get a chance to store a value, to store a data by using the least data type, or by using the data type that is consuming less memory, right? You can choose what? You can choose the equivalent data type. In this case, byte data type is always recommended. Understanding my answer? Just type something in the chat box, yes or no. You got my answer? I mean, you got what I'm trying to say? Yes, good. Sounds good. Okay. So now let us do some manipulations, right? So the price of the dosa is 100. Now let me say I'm trying to reassign the price of dosa. I'm saying that price of dosa equal to dosa. It is not making any sense, but you observe one thing. I have assigned value 100 to dosa, right? Again, this dosa, this is representing, this is holding some value, isn't it? This is again getting reassigned to some other variable, price of dosa, right? Now you tell me, if I do system dot out dot println, right? Trying to get access to dosa. Now trying to get access to price of dosa. Price of dosa. Right? What is the answer? Can anyone? Can you guess the answer and put in the chat box? Are you getting my question? If I try to execute this, if I try to run this program, what answer I will be getting? Question is very simple, right? Dosa, I'm trying to access dosa, and it's like in the second, in the print statement, I'm trying to access price of the dosa. What could be the answer? 100 dosa. Okay, let me. 100 error. Any other answers? 100 error, 100 dosa, 100 error. Samakya Darshini, you understand my question? Very simple. No need to think much. Let me take this and bring my paint here. So this is my question, right? So we need to compile, we need to execute. After executing, while execution, main thread will come into picture. Main thread will try to get access to the main method, right? If all the instructions inside the main method will be executed. The first instruction is I am assigning a value 100 to the byte data type, right? So byte data type will be created. The byte data type will be created. The size of this byte data type is going to be what? 8 bits. Right? So since the value 100 needs to be assigned in the byte data type, the first positive number, so 0, right? 1 1 0 0. The remaining things are what? 1 0 0. This is how the 100 can be converted to binary number. Right? So first thing is over. Because of the first line, this is what happening inside the memory. So second line, what I'm saying, I'm using a data type which is short. Right? So this time this short data type is going to consider 16 bits of memory, isn't it? So the size will be increased because we are using short data type. So this could be 8 bits, and another 8 bits will be created since it is a 16-bit data type, right? Everything will be 0. Right? So here also you see dosa is equal to 100, right, in this line. And again I am reassigning the value of dosa, reassigning the value of 100 to what? To price of dosa. So it means price of dosa is again is going to be 100, right? For dosa equal to 100, this is the memory allocation. For price of dosa, this is the memory allocation, right? Both are representing the same number, but look at the memory, how the memory is getting reallocated internally because of the way that the program is written. That's the question, right? So these two things are done. The control will be coming here. What we are trying to say, print dosa. So this is the value of dosa, which is what? 100, isn't it? Again what you are saying, print price of dosa. So this is the price of dosa, again it is 100. So the output is going to be 100, isn't it? Right? Okay, sir, can you just try to run this? Let us run this. So let me do save as, because every time the source code should be saved with .java extension, and the major rule is that it should be same as the class name. So hotel.java. Save. The saving is done, right? Let me open the command prompt. I think it is not open. So let me point to that location. This is the place where the program has been saved. It is saved inside the D folder in the subfolder Java3. Right? Now I am performing the compilation. For compilation, the command is straightforward at Java C space the file name. Hotel.java is the file. Compilation is successful. Why? How do we know that compilation is successful? If compilation is not successful, the cursor won't be blinking, and the errors are displayed. So since there are no errors, right, the compilation is successful. The next thing is execution. For the execution, the command is, we already know, Java space the actual class name. 100, right? It looks very simple. The question, the program is very straightforward. I understand that program is very straightforward, but why we are trying to understand this from the memory perspective? That's the question. How this can be represented in the memory perspective? This is how it can be represented. This is how we need to start developing the intuition. This is how you should imagine, right? In the future, if you go to any company, if you are attending any interview, they will not expect you to write any code. All they expect is, if you are capable enough of understanding the code that is already written. That things are what? That things are essential actually, because we will be working with the same code, already existing code. We will be doing some modifications in the existing code, but we need to understand, as soon as we see the code, we should be able to like guess the output. That's the actual agenda, right? Making sense? Hope this is understandable. Right? Just type something in the chat box. Right? Samyukta, Darshini. Yeah. Right, now let us do some more problems on this particular topic. Now you tell me. So now we have just started discussing about the chart data. Now what I am saying is, price of dosa is there. Okay. So I am going to a hotel. I am trying to purchase something, like let us say upma. The price of upma is 200. It's not 200. It is going to be 50 or something. But and secondly, I am trying to purchase samosa. 50 rupees, right? Now you have to tell me. We know now, we got to know how these things will work internally, right? How the memory gets allocated. These things we know internally. Okay. Now what could be the possible answer? Just type in the chat box. You need to observe. You need to do some observation. Observation is very simple. The value that we are trying to assign, right, should be compatible with the data type. First observation. Like 200 is compatible with the data type, isn't it? Because short can accommodate the value 200 because it is falling within the range. Same thing here. 50 is what? This is also compatible, right? What I am trying to do here, upma plus samosa means 200 plus 50. Answer is obviously 250. Yes or no? Tell me. Yes or no? Answer should be 50, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. Right. So let us execute this. $250. Answer is very straightforward. Now you tell me. I have consumed a upma and I have also consumed samosa, right? But the bill is getting generated like this. Bill equal to, or I can say total bill equal to upma plus samosa. So this is equal to total bill equal to upma plus samosa. Now I am trying to access the total bill. Right? Now you tell me what is the answer. Think and tell me. Think and tell me what is the answer that we can anticipate. Think and tell me. Shashwant 250. Think once again. Ganesh BG and Ganesh Darshini. Think and tell me. Yesterday we have discussed this topic. Yes, exactly. It is error. Exactly. Error. Because if you remember, yesterday I was telling you, right? Yes, correct, Ganesh, correct. Yesterday I was telling you, isn't it? If you are using the operator, plus operator, outside the system dot out dot println, this plus operator is designed in such a way that, right? Okay. When you are trying to use a plus operator, this plus operator is designed in such a way that it has to ensure the operand, the left hand side operand and the right hand side operand should always be what? The integer data type by default. Right? This is how it is designed internally. Right? Plus operator will not be happy, right, if you are trying to declare the operands like byte or short. We are not supposed to do this. We will not be happy. Not only plus, all the mathematical operator, plus, minus, multiplication, division. Right? So what we have done here in the program, very simple, right? So we are doing the addition operation, but these two operands belongs to the short data type. Not acceptable. Right? If I run this, let us run this. See, it says incompatible types, right? See, it is not compatible. It is not happy. Compiler is not happy. What it's saying? A logic conversion into to short. Compiler is expecting, okay, these two data types must be in the form of integers. At least integer and above data type, not the data types that are below integer. That's why we are getting this. Making sense? So to avoid this, right, I am not supposed to we are not encouraged to do this any kind of mathematical operation, and we cannot assign it to the short data type. So how to avoid the error? I can choose integer here directly. I can choose integer, or else this is the one of the way. In the total bill, I can directly use upma plus samosa. Right? Now tell me what could be the possible answer. You understand this? Okay, the question button. Exactly, correct. As simple as that. Now you might be wondering, sir, this kind of questions are really looking very simple. Do we get this kind of questions in the interview room? Yes, you will get this type of questions. Trust me, right? This type of questions, right? They will check your caliber with these questions because these are completely fundamentals. Making sense? So let me run this. 250, isn't it? So what if I do this? Teacher total bill equal to upma plus samosa. Now I'm trying to access the variable which is total bill. Can anyone tell me what could be the answer now? Do we get error or do we get actual answers? Right? 250, sir. Okay, Ganesh. 250, 250. Why 250? Why 250? Because directly, now the compiler will be very happy because we are using an addition operator, but the value, the after the evaluation, the resultant value is getting saved into a data type which is integer data type. Yes, yes, exactly. That's correct. You are right. Right. Let us do a run. See, no errors we are getting now. 250. Right. So the conclusion is very simple, right? I can say that I can conclude, right? So here is the straightforward conclusion. Byte plus byte, right? We should ensure that it should be int, right? Short plus short data type, it should be int, right? Byte. So I'm sorry, this should be negative because Java is case sensitive. So we need to ensure that the cases are properly taken care. There should not be any violation. Byte plus short. Again, it is going to be what? Integer. Short plus byte. But this is going to be integer. Simple. This is a straightforward conclusion, right? So if you do not have to if you are not following these rules, there will be a violation and you will get compile time errors. These errors are the compile time errors because it is happening at the compilation time. Right? So the conclusion is we got to know about the short data type, right? This is done. This is done. Now this is not and why default value 0. We will discuss that. And it is signed data type. We know that, and we got to know the range. So default value, again, the default value. If you want to do something like if you do not want to assign any value to the data type, the compiler, the JVM is going to assign a default value. What does it mean? Let's say that dot upma equal to 200, right? System dot out dot println. Again, this is also a popular interview question. Right? If I try to get access upma, the answer is very simple, right? Anyone with eyes can say that the answer is going to be 200. Right? I am not assigning the value here. See, I am not assigning any value. I am just declaring the data type, and I am along with the data type, I have also declared an identifier. I am going to a hotel. I am asking for upma. So there are two ways to ask upma. Firstly, I can ask, sir, what is the price of upma? Right? The server will say 100 rupees, something like that. Other way is, sir, get me the upma. We will ask the server to bring the upma, then later we will think about the price. Such cases are there, right? Same thing, same cases, same analogy apply here. Right? Initially, you just declare without any value. You just declare something without any value, right? And later you will declare the value. This is also possible, right? Here just the declaration, Here the initialization is happening. Initialization is nothing but assigning the actual value to the respective identifier. Very simple, guys. This is same as this. I can do this, or else I can also do this. Right? So if I try to execute this, let us understand the output. We will not get any errors. 100. 100 you are getting. Right? So the Java program, the compiler will expect two things here. Right? Hey boss, you can either write, not a plain screen, I'm trying to write it here. Let me take this to the actual screen. Compiler is going to expect two things here. Right? So this is the concept of the local scope or the method scope. I am talking about the scope. I am bringing in the scope. What scope? Method scope. We are declaring the data inside a method. Whenever the data is declared inside the method, we call it as the local scope or the method scope. So public static void main string array box. Right? Inside this, it is already said, it is already designed that compiler is going to check the declaration as well as the initialization. Right? It will accept the program drafted by the developer. Like for example, if I say short upma, this is called as a declaration. So data type I used the identifier, but I haven't used the value. Compiler is okay, but we should ensure that the value is also assigned in the next line or before accessing the identifier. Right? System dot out dot println. So I am trying to access the actual variable upma. What happens here? So now you should do two observations here. Declaration is done, initialization is also done. But the question is, these two things should be done before accessing. Hope I am making sense. Right? So line number declaration, line 2 initialization. When you try to access the actual variable, this variable, this upma, this system dot out dot println statements will be satisfied, right? Only after initializing or assigning the actual value to the variable. Right? For example, if I don't do this, I'm just removing this for the better understanding. So short upma, but try to execute this. Java C hotel.java. I get error. The variable upma might not have been. It is asking you, hey boss, you have just defined the variable, but where did you initialize it? Where is the value? Right? So we are trying to access, but value is not there. So okay, let us remove this. Now this is second observation. Just declaration is done. I'm not trying to access this value. Just declaration is done. So if we run this, no problem. I'm not getting any error. Output is blank. Output is blank. In this case, what happens? This is the case one. Just try to put some attention here. So case one is like this is a simple program, right? So main method will come into picture. Main thread will come into picture. Main thread will try to get access to what? It will get access to the main method. Right? First instruction in the main method is what? Short upma. Internally, what happens? A block of memory will be created for short. Right? Short is nothing but it is the collection of 16 bits, isn't it? Right? Everything will be 0. Each and every bit will be 0. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 16 zeros you put, that's it. Right? Memory got allocated and there are no other statements to get executed. No problem. So that's why you're not getting errors, right? But the problem is coming when I try to access this variable, when I try to access what? When I try to access this variable, system dot out dot println, if I try to access Upma, right, now the compiler will not be happy with our statement because it will expect us to do the initialization. We have meant to initialize any value to the Upma, but we are trying to access Upma. Right? It is like we are going to the hotel and you are saying to the server like, I will not pay money, but I will eat. Will he be happy? Right? He will throw the customer out, isn't it? Same thing here. So this is the error. Compiler is very strict. It is saying, where is the initialization? Declaration is done. I'm happy with the declaration, but where is initialization? This error that we are getting. Okay. To avoid that, I can either avoid this in two ways. Initialize the value here directly, or else do the initialization in the second line, no issues. Upma equal to 100. Now compiler will be happy. Compiler will check declaration is done. Secondly, it will check for the initialization. Yes, initialization is also done. It is happy now. This is going to the hotel, ordering food, after consuming food, asking for the bill. As simple as that. Right? So run this. No issues. Right? What if I do this? Now you tell me the answer. I have just did some manipulation. Declaration, right? Declaration, accessing, then initialization. What is your thoughts on this? What is your answer on this? Error, or we will get error? Super Ganesh. What about you, Darshini, Sashwan, Chaitanya, Samyukta? Error. Darshini. So I am expecting that you are saying error because of the idea. Okay, error is, yes, you are correct, it's error, but actually why error is happening is, I've already said, isn't it? Before even accessing, this variable should be initialized, but we did the initialization after the accessing. That's why we get error. So we know that we have initialized the variable, but the initialization is happened after this line. It should be happening before the line. Making sense? Okay. So what about this now? Another scenario. Upma 100. Okay. Now answer this. Think and answer. Don't just answer like that. Think and answer. Okay, Samyukta says 100. What about others? 100. Chaitanya is also saying 100. Darshini, think and answer. Ganesh. Darshini, you're right, Darshini. Error answer is correct. Right? The hierarchy is very simple, guys. Hierarchy is declaration. Firstly, declaration. Right? Second is initialization. Third one is accessing. This hierarchy. Declaration is mandatory, so I cannot declare. I cannot initialize a variable, right? Variable cannot be standalone. Variable should always go along with the data type. If you go back to my previous classes, I have already said that this is how a variable can be represented. Data type should be mandatory, and the variable name is another mandatory concept. Variable name followed by the value. This is a rule, right? But this rule can also be like data type, variable name, and in the second line I can do the actual initialization. Both are valid. But it should be in this order. The order should not be changed. This should be this order. It cannot be this. It cannot be the opposite. you do this, you will get error. The hierarchy should be in such a way that compiler will look for the declaration is very, very mandatory, important. Primitive data types is meant for declaration, right? So this is the declaration. You can do declaration and initialization the same line, no issues. But if you opted to do the declaration in one line, right, the initialization should follow this the following line. But this thing should be initialized before accessing the actual variable. Now you tell me, if I am trying to print here, like 1000 I am trying to print. Now over here I am trying to get access to this. Now think and tell me. What is the possible answer here? Now think and tell me. Do we get error or do we get an answer? If you are getting an answer, what is the answer? 1000 error. Okay. This is saying 1000 error. Think and tell me. Think and tell me. Try to follow the okay error. Darshini. Darshini is typing something. Error, sir. Darshini is also saying error. Let us analyze together. Start upma. What is this? Initialize declaration. Right? In this case, I am trying to print a direct value, a direct constant. 1000 will be printed. In this line, what I am trying to do? I am trying to do initialization. Right? In this case, I am trying to access. Right? So if you look at the hierarchy, no matter what, if you are finding any other instructions, if you look at the hierarchy is not getting violated. Don't you think so? Declaration, initialization, then accessing. This is what I said, right? Hierarchy is what? Declaration, then initialization, then what? Accessing. No matter what what are the no matter what other instructions are getting settled inside this particular sequence or particular, no matter what, if it is following this particular sequence or this is following particular hierarchy, it is acceptable, right? Am I getting any error? 1000 to 100. This is the actual answer. Making sense? Okay, Samyukta is right. I didn't see your answer, Samyukta. Sorry, you are right. Yeah. Didn't check your answer. You are right. Understood, Darshini, Ganesh, Chaitanya, Dashwant. Yeah. So just try to execute by yourself. Check one line by line and also check if it is following this sequence, hierarchy, declaration, initialization, and accessing. As simple as that. Right? Now what if I do a little more change, like in dot upma equal to 200, dot upma equal to 200. Now you tell me what could be the answer. Think and tell. Even if you take time also, no problem. Don't be in a hurry. What is the possible answer? So this is my question. What is the expected answer? Think and tell me. Thousand, 100, Samyukta. Okay. We will see, we will check. Error and 100, Darshini says. What about Ganesh and Chaitanya? Error and 100. What about Ganesh? 1100. Okay. Let us try to execute this. We will track this. Okay. Pay some attention here. I am saving this. Let us see who is correct, who is not correct. Even I am not sure. The compilation is successful. If there is an error, the compilation will be failed, isn't it? Means there are no errors. 1100. Answer is 1100. Why 1100? Let us see. Let me use this space. Right? We know as usual main thread is going to main thread will be coming into the picture. Main thread will try to get access to the main method. So first instruction is UPMA 200. Which data type? Short data type. Okay, some memory will be allocated and some values will be placed here. You know all this. Secondly, we are saying print 1000. Direct answer. Nothing is there. Print 1000. 1000 will be displayed in the console. Right? Initially, the value of UPMA, I mean, I can write this. Value of UPMA is 200. Right? Second line, 1000 is printed. The third line, we are doing the reassignation. We are reassigning the value. We are trying to do correction. Right? So we are again saying UPMA. UPMA is already there. We are saying, okay, it is like you are going to a hotel. By accidentally, the server says, if you are asking for a price, sir, what is the price of UPMA? He says 200. Or else accidentally he says 200. Right? I mean, in the bill, you have generated a bill by saying that the price of UPMA is 200 accidentally. Right? What you will be asking a question, right? It's a complete weird thing. UPMA is not going to be 200. You ask him, you will say, sir, I'm sorry, we do some correction. It's not 200, it's 100. Let me recorrect the bill. Like same concept applies here. Beginning we have insulated it to 200, but we developer we have an opportunity to do the recorrection, right? This is what we call as recorrection. Technically, I am saying it is not recorrection; it is a reassignation. So this 200 will be replaced with what 100. So third line completed. Fourth line, what we are trying to print UPMA. What is the recent value of UPMA? 100. This will be printed. That's why 1100. Making sense? Making sense? Darshini, making sense? Okay, good. Now next thing, default value. So the we have completed everything. We need to understand the default value. See, the concept of default value will come into picture only for the data type that is getting declared outside the method. Let me repeat. There are two ways that this data can be declared. You can declare this data. Let's remove all this. You can declare this data inside the method, or you have an option to declare this data outside the method. Right? And one thing you should remember, outside the method and inside the class, outside the method and inside the class. Right? And at the same time, you should use a keyword called static keyword. Don't worry about the static keyword. Just think like whenever you are declaring any data outside the main method, it's your duty to add the static keyword. Why we are adding static keyword? That is debatable. We will discuss that in the future. Right? For the time being, when you are trying to declare the same data dot UPMA 200, if you want to declare it outside the method, this is how one is supposed to be declaring the data. Static keyword needs to be used. Right? Now, if you are trying to access UPMA, the answer is what? Java C space hotel.java. Java space. Answer is 200. 200, right? But you have an option. It is not mandatory for you to initialize the value. It is not mandatory for you to initialize the value. Right? You can just declare the value. You do not have to worry about the initialization when the data is getting declared outside the method. If this is the case, if I try to run this program, right, the compiler will be responsible to display the default value. So let me run this. If the value is not getting initialized, the compiler will be displaying a default value. So 0 is the default value. Right? So default value is coming into the picture, or it is coming into the light. Right? And default values are always, initialization is not mandatory when the data is getting declared outside the method. First point to be remembered. Making sense? Right? If you want to declare the same data inside the method, so let us say that short inside the method you do not have to use the static keyword. Short equal to 1000 I am saying. So here let us do the declaration also. Right? Now tell me what will be the answer. Now answer to me this. Answer this to me. What is a possible answer for this? Think and tell me. I will explain you, but try to guess the answer from your end. Try to think. Try to think. When I saying 1100, what about Samyukta, Darshini? 1000. Chaitanya, Samyukta, 1000. Okay, everyone are saying 1000. Okay, interesting. Let us do. Let me save that. I didn't save that. 1 minute. Answer is 1000. So who said 1000? They are correct. Everyone are on the right page. Okay, correct. Only 1000 because now you tell me without this, what is the answer now? Hundred. Yes, exactly. 100. It is going to be 100. Yes, correct, correct. 100. But now see, I have used the same identifiers Upma. But my requirement is, if I run this, output is going to be what? 1000. Correct or not? But I want to print 100. My requirement is, I do not want to. Sorry guys, it was disconnected. Uh, 1 minute. Let me add Ganesh also. Okay. Okay. So what I am saying is, so it is obviously the answer is going to be 1000 in this case, isn't it? But my requirement is I do not want to depend on this local variable, the variable that is declared inside the method. I want to depend on the class level variable, the variable that is declared outside the method. I want to print 100 as an output. Java is given an option. Java says, hey, if you have two variables with the same name, Upma, right? But if you want to print the variable that is declared outside the method, please use this keyword. Use this dot Upma. Just use this dot Upma. It means it will directly give priority to the class level variable, as simple as that. Right? If I run this code, one minute. Actually, I need to create an object for this. I will tell you this line in some time. Okay, you don't worry about this thing. So this thing is related to object-oriented concept. So we need the idea of understanding the object-oriented, how to create an object. After this, this thing will make sense. But in the object oriented concept, this is how you can pull the class level data. You will be using this keyword, right? I don't think this would be appropriate to discuss about this keyword now, because it is a big topic, right? So for the time being, let us stop here. Not stop here. Let's use Upma. Right? If I have this, the answer is going to be 1000. If I remove this, the answer is going to be 100. Right? If I have this, for example, let us say that I'm declaring like this. Dot Upma. Now you tell me what will be the answer. Think and tell me. Think and tell me. You can let me give you some inputs. Inputs are like, first preference will be given to the local variable, method variable, right? So just think, if the method, if the variable is declared, this following declaration and initialization. Now tell me the answer. The question is sense. Upma. No. Ganesh is saying Upma. Upma is a variable name. What about Samyukta, Darshini? Darshini, Samyukta, Shashwant. Think and tell me. Think and tell me. It's not very difficult. Think and tell me. Priority will be given to the. Don't know, sir. This is the right answer. I appreciate Shashwant's answer. He says don't know directly. Okay. Darshini. 100, sir. Darshini is saying 100. Why 100 is coming here? Okay. Nothing, sir. Okay. So everyone has own answers, but let us try to run this. See, variable Upma might not have been initialized. I already said declaration is completed. Declaration is completed. Where is the initialization? Initialization is mandatory, isn't it? So before getting access to this variable, we need to, before accessing this, we need to ensure that the variable is properly initialized, right? So we haven't done any initialization. This is what the sequence that we are discussing about. Declaration. Don't remember these three things: declaration, initialization, and assign. Access. These three things. You have done declaration, initialization, and missing. That's why you are getting this error. What is error? Variable Upma might not have been initialized. It is asking us to do the initialize, then try to access, you will get. So in the second line, I am performing the initialization. Upma equal to 100. Right now, the sequence is hierarchy is very clear, crystal clear. So we have completed declaring initialization as well as we are accessing. Now this is valid. Okay. 100, right? But this it is not compulsion to do the same thing. It's not compulsion to do the same thing when we are declaring the variable outside the method. Outside the method, just initialize declaration is okay. It's not mandatory to do the initialization. In this case, default value will come into picture. Default value will be printed. Value will be printed. So what is the default value that is going to get printed? That is the question. The default value is going to be what? 0. So the default value will come into picture only when we are 0. When we are trying to initialize, declare the variable outside the method. Outside the method, this is the rule. Not the rule. This can be a case. This can be there can be a scenario where declaration is okay. But when you try to use the data within the method, the rules are like what? Declaration is mandatory. Initialization is also mandatory. Third one is accessing. This rules needs to be followed inside the method for a particular data type. But when you are declaring any variable outside the method, these rules can be violated. You can just, it is compiler will be fine, happy with only the declaration. Right? So the default value is coming into picture when you declare any variable outside the method without any value. So default value will be printed if you try to access. But when the same variable is declared inside the method, these three things needs to be observed. That is our duty. Making sense? So this is all about short data type. Very simple. For each and every data type, we are going to discuss about these 4 points. Right? Size. We got to know what is size. Size is cleared. And the default value is also cleared. So why it is signed data type, it is also cleared. Why the range is from negative to positive is little big number compared to byte, that is also clear. How to find the size? There are 2 ways. Use the bits. Second way is use this formula. As simple as that. Right? Short data type is over. And what are the special cases? I mean, what are the violations? You cannot do short plus short. The violation. Right? Why we cannot do short plus short? Whenever you are using the plus signature, this plus signature will be expecting integer as well as integer towards its left and right. This is a quick recap today. Tomorrow we'll be discussing about what? Tomorrow we'll be discussing about integer data type. Very special data type and very highly used data type in the Java programs. Right? I hope my today's class is clear. Any confusion did I make today?